So good morning, Lynn Huber here. Welcome to Live with Lynn. It's kind of early today, at least for me. I'm doing it early because I will be leaving in a few minutes to take my mom to the hospital. She's having to have surgery. So like I said yesterday, that's the great thing is that I'm able to be there for my mom. But today I want to talk about the growing pains that I've experienced as, in my business. Like I mentioned on my last video, Richard and I both worked many, many hours, 60, 70, sometimes 80 hours a week in our day jobs, and we just didn't have time to grow a business. And I think most of our growing pains came from that, from the lack of time. We always kept reaching levels, where we couldn't grow anymore because we didn't have any more time. So when we first started, we, like I mentioned, we did penny saver ads to get recruits, and we sat a table out in front of Kmart week after week after week, every Sunday for like 3 hours every Sunday. And we got names and phone numbers. And so that's how we grew our business. But then that creates more work, right? Because then you have to make appointments. Back then we had to meet with new potential representatives face to face and sign them up. And so I had to make appointments. I had to find time to make those appointments to sign them up. And then also we got all those new customer names, and we had to get brochures to them every campaign, that kind of thing. So Richard's days off were like Wednesday and Sunday. And so on Wednesdays, he would take books around. We worked in a neighborhood where he would take books and put them on every doorstep. We had a system that worked really well. For 6 campaigns in a row, we would leave books on the doorstep, and we would pick up customers from that. But then also we got those customer leads that we got from Kmart. They didn't all live on the same street. Obviously, they lived all over town. And so it got to the point where Richard was spending his entire day delivering brochures to all of our customers and potential customers. And it was like almost his only day off, really. And so we had to find a way to overcome that, because we couldn't grow if we couldn't get books out to people, and we couldn't continue that. So then we found systems. We basically built systems into our business. So that's when we decided we needed to bulk mail. So we bought a bulk mail permit, and we would label up our brochures, and I had a list, and I would, it was a merge thing I did in Word, and I would print labels, and it would take us an hour or so to put the bulk mail together every campaign, every 2 weeks. We could do that late at night, at midnight or whatever. And then that cleared up Richard's whole day as far as delivering brochures. So, and the same thing, I had to, the people that I got from the penny saver ads, I had to find time to meet with them. A lot of times I would meet with them at 8. I usually could manage, if I had it scheduled, I could manage to be home by 8 or so and meet up at a fast food restaurant or coffee shop or something. Or I would do a lot of appointments on Saturday, and then I would book them up as much as possible, maybe 2 or 3 people at the same time, or back to back, or however, obviously the most efficient way I could. So another part of being a representative, though, is to grow your business, to really grow your business, is you need to follow up. You get brochures out to people, but then, we're all busy, right? I know we are. Every one of us is busy. We have kids. They all have activities. We're having to drive them around. We work day jobs. We have, like I have my mother. Every one of us is busy in today's society. Everything is just moving so fast. And so people get our books and they might look at it. And to be honest with you, I know you're looking at the book in the bathroom. I know a lot of people do that, right? I know, sorry, that sounds gross, but it's reality. And they're looking at the book and they might be turning the pages over, and there's things they want to order, and they put the book down and then they forget to call. And so that quick reminder makes all the difference if you're trying to build a business. And I didn't have time to call all those people back then. I mean, when I first started this in 2000, by the time I was actively working it was 2002, 2003. People didn't really have cell phones. And if they did, they weren't texting yet. So, it was like a phone call. You had to make a phone call. And I just didn't have time to call all these people. And so I came up with another system. It was called Voice Shot at the time, where I would pre-record a message. And I would say, hi, this is Lynn, your Avon lady. Just a quick reminder, my order's going in, and some details. And it wasn't a sales call. It was just a reminder call. And it's funny, all the representatives, all the Avon representatives, they didn't have Facebook back then, but they did have bulletin boards where you could chat. And all the representatives were saying, don't do that. You're going to kill your business. People don't like telephone solicitors. But I didn't have a choice. So I tried it, and my customers loved it. And some of you are my customers, and some of you remember these or are still getting them. But my customers loved it. They didn't even have to listen to the whole message. It was just, oh, I need to give my order to Lynn. They would like listen to part of it because it was pre-recorded. It was one of those, the phone rings, and here's this pre-recorded message on the phone. And they would just, oh, it's Lynn, and they'd hang up, and then they would call me back with their order. Nowadays, that's evolved. We still do those voice shots. It's a different service now, but with people who I only have home phones for. But the majority of my customers are on cell phones, and the majority of my text. So we have developed systems to get us over those humps, because we would get to a point where we couldn't grow anymore because we didn't have any more time. There was nothing, we had to figure out how to free up time or how to do more in the time we had in order to grow. And, there's always, if there's a will, there's a way, right? And so we've developed systems. We have systems to get brochures to customers. We have systems to follow up. You get brochures to customers either by mailing brochures or by texting the digital brochure link or emailing the digital brochure link. We have systems to follow up by email, by phone recorded message, by text. We have all these systems in place. So if you join my team, I will help you get those systems in place too for you. But just wanted to give you that update on how we've gone through the growing pains, how we've overcome them. And I got to get off to the hospital to go take my mom. But anyway, have a great day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.